Hello there, and welcome to another episode of my Survivor World. And to start off today, I need to actually use my new Elytra station. So let's go fill up the XP here. And there should be plenty because I have been doing some AFK in the area. And I need to just take one of these. And oh my goodness, that was a lot of XP. But now I am fixed up. We undo that. I'm going to grab some rockets while I'm here. And you know what? Let's use the launcher because we got some things to show you guys. So the first thing is I fixed up this armor stand down here for you, Lepton. I have changed the name as you mentioned in the comments. So now I have removed the numbers. Now if anyone else has any great ideas you want to share, I'm happy to put people's names on other things as well. Just a pre-warning though, a lot of these Star Wars scenes, I already have the ideas in my brain. So it might be something that I'm already doing, and this is more for people who come up with ideas I didn't think of, and I will be honest about that, as you can see here. The other thing I did... Why am I not flying? Rockets are not working apparently. So the other thing I did was I left this AFK for a couple of days, and now I have completely maxed out this storage. And actually, if you include the hoppers behind here, there is 1,150,000 cobblestone blocks. So I'm pretty sure I won't ever need to turn this machine on again, which is lovely, and I'm very happy with that. But now it's time to move on to the next part of this build that I mentioned in the previous episode, which is going to be some vehicles. And let's see if you can take a guess what I'm going to be building. It's probably quite obvious from these colours. So let's jump in and let's build up these pod racers. Well, there we have it. I have two pod racers in now. So we've got Sebulba's pod racer here and obviously Anakin's over here. The two most iconic from the series. And I am super happy with how they came out, actually. Anakin's, it's a little bit small, so the detail isn't quite as good. But I wanted to try and get the size roughly correct, and they're still a little bit bigger than they should be, but I think in comparison to each other they are a good size. And honestly, I'm so happy with Sebulba's. I've put it up on this hill because for me it's more like a trophy build. If I come out here when I'm flying around, it's just one that stands up and stands out from the rest of the builds. Whereas Anakin's is down by Watto's shop because obviously he was his slave, and that's where he would be. So I did have a bit of an idea with these pod racers. Now, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I don't know, how it will be in the future, but if more people are commenting, if there's some regular commenters, obviously there's a couple of people at the moment, but if there's people who watch regularly in the future, I think it would be a good idea to build up the entire pod racing circuit. Obviously not on this island. It's never going to fit here. I will find a good desert, we'll set up a portal, and we will go build the whole circuit. And then what we can do is the actual racers inside of the pods can be the subscribers, and people can send in a skin if they want me to put a specific skin. I can get the head from that. And also, I'm thinking like Anakin's obviously going to be at the front. He's going to be in first place, along with Sebulba there fighting for the first place. And we could do something like who comments the most, or who's the earliest commenters, something like that. And I think that would just be quite cool, a way to include you guys in the world. And I just had so much fun building up these pod racers that I would love to do more. And obviously I'm not going to fit any more in this area, so it's not realistic. And oh my goodness, it's raining again. And it just never seems to be a thunderstorm, so I can never sleep through the night. But now, what we need to do is look at moving on to the next build on this island, because that is Watto's shop finished up. And I have quite a cool idea, but I'll be honest, I actually have no idea what farm I'm going to actually put inside this next build. So I'll think about that later. We'll come up with something. Maybe it's just something simple. Maybe it's a moss farm, who knows? I don't know. There's nothing I can think of that is suitable for this build, but I have to build it. You cannot build Tatooine and not build this next scene. So, let's jump to me gathering some resources and making some space for this build. I have a space laid out for the next build. You might be able to tell from the fact it's circular, or you might be able to tell from what I'm going to say next, which is that I need to dig a giant pit here. So you can probably guess what this is going to be if it wasn't in the thumbnail. And yeah, I just need to dig out this big pit, and it's going to take a little while, but we got to get on with it so we can get on with the actual building portion. But I just wanted to mention that unfortunately something has happened in my life. I am getting made redundant from my job, which means that currently I am still working, obviously, and I need to also look for a new job. So I don't know how my schedule is going to look in the coming weeks, and I don't know obviously what job I'm going to get. So whether I'm working from home or if I am working from an office, my commute time obviously might change. I might not have as much free time. But don't worry, I am still going to keep making videos. It just means it might end up being one every 2 weeks instead of every week, because currently I have been working from home, which means that, when I finish work, I'm literally at my desk already, so I can just start recording other than eating dinner and those kind of things. So it has afforded me a lot of free time to get this going, and yeah, we're just going to have to see what happens. But I am not particularly worried about it. I am in a good position. I do have access to everything I need, so I should be fine and be able to get a new job, no problem. But back to the Minecraft stuff, well, I am going to have to do a bit of terraforming around the edge here and kind of bring it down nicely into this hole. And I am going to have to go down probably about 20 blocks. Now, of course, I did mention that I don't have a particularly good idea of what farm to use in this, but I'm not sure if I will have time to make one this week anyway, so this build might be left farmless for today. If that is the case, I'm willing to take any suggestions if you can think of something that would suit the area. And that is one big pit dug out, because now I'm going to use this area, and I've probably gone a bit too deep, to be honest, but that's fine because then there'll be a bit of space underneath for whatever farm I decide to make. But this is going to be the Sarlacc pit. Risky move. Oh, that was close. Ooh, okay. I'm not doing that again. The Sarlacc monster is now in the desert, and to be honest, I'm happy with the mouth and the tentacles. I know the tongue isn't exactly correct, it's a bit fatter and it doesn't stick out of the mouth, but I just thought it makes it look a bit more realistic. If I just kind of filled out the mouth with a tongue, you wouldn't be able to see the inner layer of the skin or anything, and it kind of isn't as obvious. I did try a couple of bits. The thing I'm not sure I'm happy with is the teeth around the walls. I could try with just the end rods, but I'm not sure if that will help. I might try it out and switch it up. We'll keep an eye on that. I also put these pointed dripstones, which I thought was quite cool because there is some hanging bits. Unfortunately, the rocks sticking out over the top aren't particularly great, and I also needed to make sure I left some bits for you to be able to actually sort of see down into it, like parts where I can put armor stands for Lando Calrissians sliding into it. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how it came out, and it does look quite menacing where the mouth is. But this is what I said, I don't really know what Minecraft material would be suitable to go in this area, so I probably won't do the farm today. But we all know there's something that goes along with a Sarlacc pit, or at least the one that's in the movies, and that is Jabba's boat. And the little kind of lifeboat side rafts, I don't really know what they're called. I'm sure I'll find out when I go to look up some images to build it, but that will be the next stage here. I've also been thinking, because I had some suggestions in the comments about things that I've missed. So this was from Don Pebble about Watto's area. I can add in the T14 hyperdrive. Now, it is quite small and detailed, and he suggested using the banners. But I also realised that, I do want to use the banners, and I don't have a lot of experience. The thing is, I don't actually have a lot of the banner patterns at the moment. And to be honest, there's a few items that I don't really have, like armor trims and things like this. So I might just go out and do a little bit of adventuring to grab some more of these items before I make Jabba's boat. So first things first, there is a few that you can actually craft. So let's go find the items that we need. I mean, I've got most of them here. I just need the Oxidaisy. And I have no idea where they are, but I'm just going to take a guess that they're in some of these forests somewhere. Is that one? That was quite easy. So I think the only other one I'm missing for the banner patterns is for the normal trial chambers. So I'll have to go take a look at those. Or I can just craft these while I'm on the go. There's one other one that I need to get, which is the globe banner pattern. Nice and easy. There we go. We got that banner pattern as well. Alright, so the last one I'm missing is the Gusta banner pattern. And I'm also missing the armor trim and the music disc from that area. So I might as well just go do a couple of the normal trials. They should be quite easy. I've gathered up a few keys, so let's just see if I can get any of the items that I need. Don't need any of that. Oh, there's a music disc. The music disc again. A bunch more keys later. Let's see, can we get this banner pattern? And... well, that was useless. Another CD! By the way, just for reference, I have now opened up, what, 8 of these? That's how many it took me to get the mace. I'm still trying to get this banner pattern, and by this point I had the mace. This is crazy. Now you're taking the mick. 4 of these discs already. I'm gonna have to get a shulker box. Picked up my key. Crazy, man. How dare you pick up my key? A regular trial chamber is just so boring, though. The music disc again. No. Yes. That's the smithing template. I don't think it is random. It seems to always give the one that I click on. So if I just wait long enough, now I need to find another one. Yes, it does work. It actually works. You just wait for the one you want. Oh, yes. I got the banner pattern. Thank goodness. That is a relief because I have done a lot of those. Alright, so I've done 22 ominous trial keys, and I got the thing within about 8 of those. And the normal trial keys I've done 34. Okay. Well, that's it. We got the banner pattern. And I also got the armor trim and the music disc, so I don't need to do these normal trial chambers anymore. Oh, and I ended on a nice 2 stacks as well. And there we go. I now have all of the banner patterns ready to use. But now, I think it is time to move on to making up Jabba's boat. Unfortunately, this episode has come out a little bit late, and that is the first time of all my episodes that happened, and it's a little bit disappointing, a little bit for myself that I have now lost my schedule, but no problem. I will try not to let it happen too often going forwards, and, like you say, sometimes life does happen, things get in the way, and one of those is, as I mentioned earlier, me looking for a new job, as well as at the weekend, one of my family members was away, and I had to go and spend some time looking after their cats. So I was running back and forth between their house, between my house, spending some time here building, spending some time there with the cats and feeding them. And yeah, between all of that, another thing that delayed me was this build in particular was very difficult, and I mentioned that quite a lot in the creative build video. There's a wandering trader. I did just do a little spoiler there because the other thing that I've been caused to do by this build is get light Matica, because there's no way I am building this with photos. The photos on my phone just won't work for this. And the thing is, I don't want to use this going forwards with a lot of builds, but I will actually continue to use light Matica for one reason in particular, which is this right here. It gives me an exact list of all the blocks, which is just fantastic because the amount of times I've just gone flying back and forth. When you see in my time lapses, I'll fly off and I'll come back and I'll fly off because there's always 1 or 2 blocks that I miss. But here I have every single block that I need exactly correct. So I am going to use it for that, but I'm probably not going to use it to build too many of them because I do enjoy getting it from the photos and trying to work it out and know exactly where I'm placing each individual block. But enough spoilers, let's jump in and build up this boat. So you know what? This guy...
You will therefore be taken to the Dune Sea and cast into the pit of Carkoon. the nesting place of the all-powerful Sarlacc. In his belly you will find a new definition of pain and suffering, as you are slowly digested over 1,000 years.
Out of the way. Oh, so close. Oh, that would have been hilarious. Did he not drop a head? That would be very disappointing if he hasn't dropped that. Well, I guess this will do. There we go. I've followed on suit from the Wandering Trader over there. I didn't get a Wandering Trader head from this one, but I did get a llama head, and the Sarlacc has eaten the rest of the body. Well, Jabba's sail barge is now finished, and I'm not overly happy with it. I don't think it's my best work. To be honest, it's probably the worst thing I've built.
Liar!
Maybe that's just me being harsh on myself, but there's just some things I really don't like about it. And I did mention all of this in the video where I build up the actual boat in creative mode. But that's how it goes, you know. Sometimes you build something in Minecraft and you hate it. Sometimes you build something in Minecraft and you love it. And I've had both of those extremes in the same episode. So that is just how it goes. And I would really love nothing more than to remove this from the Jedi Archive.
You will not take it from me!
But unfortunately, you know, we made a bad build in my perspective, and that's it. You just have to roll with it. You know, I don't mind so much, but maybe some of you guys will like it. And I think what you'll like depends on, you know, what your favorite thing is as well. This might be your favorite thing in the entire Star Wars universe, and just seeing it there will make you happy. Or maybe you hate it, and that makes you hate the build more. Who knows? It's all preference. But we've got our Sarlacc pit, we've got Jabba's boat, and some little skiffs ready for us to do some armor stands in the next episode. As well as that, this boat isn't actually quite finished. So obviously I mentioned about not knowing what farm to add in the area, but the farm I'm going to put here will be inside the Sarlacc's mouth. There'll be a small gap, you can jump in, maybe I'll put some water down there to make it safe. We'll figure something out. But the interior here is also not done, and that's because I want to do some of the scenes in here and try and work out how much space I've got and sort of what size they're going to be. Obviously Jabba the Hutt is quite big, and he would be in here getting strangled by Leia, as well as some of the scenes out on these skiffs here. And next episode I'll probably work on some armor stands for Watto's shop as well. With that, I will look at making the T14 hyperdrive, including that in the junkyard here. Now, one thing is, this junkyard is a bit of a weird shape, to be quite honest. I'm not overly happy with the shape, but I did it this way with a future build in mind. Now, I have built up this Sarlacc pit, and it kind of lines up with it, so I'm not sure that's going to be suitable anymore. It might be better for me to curve it round, or we'll see what I do, because I have essentially two more main builds in this area, and one's going to be on this hill part here, and then the rest of this area is going to be the part that is missing from all of this. And you can probably have a guess, but we'll save that because it's not going to come for a few episodes yet, because the next build I will work on after all of these is the part on this hill, and it's related to this. It will connect with this and make sense when I do it. You can probably guess what it is if you know Star Wars well. But the other thing that I mentioned earlier in the episode was, I'm not sure about these teeth, to be honest. Just looking at them, they're a bit too wide. It covers up a bit too much of the area. So I'm just going to hop over into a creative test world, or a copy of this world, go into creative mode and swap it out for just the end rods. So here is the before, and this is the after. Maybe something like this, but a bit less on the end rods, or make them a bit less uniform, you know, make them spread out in a more inconsistent manner to make it look a bit better. But if I'm honest, I kind of prefer this, but it's a lot of effort to go and remove all that quartz manually instead of using the command that I just did. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? What's your preference? Do you prefer just the end rods or with the quartz? It definitely looks more toothy like this, and the other way kind of just looks a bit too much. I think it's just too big and a bit loud. So yeah, this would probably suit a little bit better. So feel free to let me know what your preference is in the comments. If no one has any preference, I will probably go with the end rods. Same with the farm. If you have any ideas, feel free to let me know as well. If not, I will go with a moss farm. One other thing to mention is that I am going to be releasing 3 other videos alongside this for the vehicles, because I have built up 3 in one episode. Now, that wasn't actually a contributing factor to this video being late, because those don't take me any time at all, realistically. I'm already building it, I'm already spending the time, so I just record, press play, and then when it comes to editing, I just edit out parts where I don't talk, and that's pretty much it for those videos. And then I take it out. I spend maybe an hour on them each, so it's really quite easy to do them. So that's not really anything that's affected this. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. And I've got a little treat for you here, just at the end. I'm just going to put in some of the bloopers from this episode because my voice was not working this week. My words were not wording, and I thought you might find it quite funny. I have spoken. I'm happy with the actual mouth and the tentacles. I think they look and Jabba's. Jabba's? Well, Jabbles? Oh my goodness. Happy because it now fits in. It all seems to go together. You know what? Scratch this.